All right, so I do want to talk about a couple of things with you,
Yeah.
with Mike. So, what are your thoughts on the stuff that's been happening with Russell Brand?
Oh boy, it's a really good question. I will start it this way. I think the point of the justice system, the whole Lady Justice is supposed to be blind. You're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. I don't know. I cannot speak on whether or not he's guilty or what. I think that one of the problems of being, I'm not apolitical, but I'm a little bit more centrist, libertarian leaning. But like to me, the thing is like when you start to pick sides, it can be really difficult to not want to ride for your side no matter what happens. I say that because sometimes we'll excuse things that people do that are on our side, but won't excuse somebody else's behavior on the other side. This is maybe the same or similar. We'll celebrate somebody being like strung up by their bootstraps because they're on the wrong side for behavior and then defend our person for the same behavior. That being said, I think I think YouTube heinously overstepped their terms of service by saying, yeah, that's a little controversial. But I think that Russell should be innocent until proven guilty. I think that that's
Yeah,
how it all should be. And I will say this, everybody that backed away from him because they're worried that the accusations are true and don't want to be associated with him because of that are pieces of shit. I think that
yeah,
that's really opportunistic. I think it's an awful way to deal with people, and it really exposes who's actually on your side or not. Now, I think somebody being like, "Oh, those accusations are bogus and that never happened" and stuff. You know what? If you know Russell and you're friends with him and you're like, "I don't think he'd ever do that," you know what? You should back your friend if you know him. People that don't know Russell Brand from anything and all they see is the personality and they want to defend him, I don't think those are true. That's one thing too. But to say like, oh, they're lying and all that stuff is fake, I don't know. That's to me that's just as bad as the people that are like it is true and all of it's true and everything about it is true and we should string them up. But here's the biggest exposure too is the fact that people like what is it British Parliament sent that letter to Rumble and sent
yeah.
that letter to
Rumble.
YouTube and stuff. It exposes the fact that these people are so terrified because they have let these witch hunts go on for so long, and we watch so many people be prosecuted and thrown on the fire in the court of public opinion without actually any legal standing whatsoever. We've watched it happen so many times that now we don't believe them when the accusations come.
Mhm.
It's the opposite. It's had the opposite effect because for every person that has actually done something wrong, like a Danny Masterson, where they're like, no, he straight up did that shit. You're like, that's wrong. He deserves to go to jail for what he did because he broke the law.
Mhm.
There are people that get accused of something and then later you find out none of it actually happened, none of it was true, and that person needs to be totally vindicated for it. But then because they've already been decided, they go, well, you fired that guy like Johnny Depp, look what happened with
Mhm.
him. And they threw him on the altar of the public opinion. They ruined his career, tanked his career, whatever. And they called him all these horrible names and treated him like trash. And people abandoned him, and Hollywood abandoned him, and everything. Then to come to find out, it was actually the exact opposite, and he was a victim in all of this. Like, shame on you. And here's the thing too. And I know this is I know that there's being a Christian. There's a lot of conversation. There's a lot of I do believe in forgiveness. I think there's room for forgiveness, and I think we have to be willing to forgive people. But I also think it really does expose the people that really have your back when you're in a position where your standing could damage their standing. That's where you
Yeah.
really find out who actually has your
We
back
are
because
friends. Yeah.
yeah, who are your real friends? Because when those people, so many people backed up off of him, was like, hey man, Johnny's kind of a weird guy anyways, or oh, I don't know, I don't want anything to do with this or whatever. That's shitty. Like your
Yeah.
friend is in trouble and he's telling you what's going on. And the thing is, a lot of these people behind the scenes knew what was going on or know what's going on and haven't said anything. So the fact is, like, some of these guys know that these guys are innocent and still won't defend him. Fuck those people.
Yeah.
That's rude as shit too. It's an awful position to put anybody in. But in this day and age, yeah, I think that they've done the boy who cries wolf so many times that it's hard to believe that a single accusation of this is true. And I think that, like I said, I think YouTube should be held responsible for saying, hey, I don't want this person to have any kind of influence because they may have done something wrong, when they have people that have literally broken the law all on their platforms. James Charles was texting minors, openly admitted to texting minors, and they banned him for like 2 months and let him come back. He's still monetized, still making them millions of dollars. You know, fucking Jake Paul and Logan Paul have broken the law more times than I can count, crypto scams and all kinds of shit. And they're still monetized. Russell Brand got accused of something, gone, done.
Yep.
And it definitely has to do with his politics. Nothing to do with the accusations. And that part of it is really shitty. So
I agree. Yeah, right. Like the whole Danny Masterson shit, it's like, you know, if he did it, yeah, you know, go to jail for it. But the thing is, the shitty part was his friends. Right, you get Ashton Kutcher and what's it called again? Mila Kunis came out and was like, "Oh, we actually, hey, judge, can you give him a lighter sentence? I know we know this guy for like over 20 years now. Like he's a good dude." And then later on, they're like, you know, the whole Me Too movement sort of like ruined everything, and then you have to come out with a fake ass apology. This is just so they can be relevant and not be canceled, right? What about you, Gray? How do you feel about like the whole Russell Brand stuff?
Yeah, I kind of agree. It's like it's what all you need to do to break someone is to make a fabricated accusation. Oh, this person harassed me. Oh, this person did this to me. Then that's it. All these platforms suddenly just demonetize you just because of that. I mean, yeah. Like these big these companies have to be more objective about it. Like just because you don't agree with the politics or and instead you're kind of using it to weaponize the people that they don't agree with as well. Just kind of like disgusting in my opinion. It's like if the only time it's valid, so it becomes valid is under the court of law, not the court of public opinion. So it's like it's kind of scary that it's still becoming the case even up to now, even despite how big the Johnny Depp case blew up. We're still facing the same thing. It's like people never learn. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah. I like with the whole Johnny Depp thing, it's like it came out that, you know, Amber Turd is a piece of crap, you know, and now she's like, oh, you know, I can't find a job or anything. I have to move to Madrid and all that bullshit. But I think one crazy thing that came out of this one was hearing that Russell Brand is like he's mega influential, right? Especially right now, especially within the past 3 years or so. But prior to that, when he was when he was huge in Hollywood, right? He's saying that he was like having sex with like 80 chicks like in a month or something. Like he was like doing crazy promiscuous stuff. The left loved him. People in Hollywood, mainstream, they loved him, right? And then all of a sudden he started questioning things like, whoa, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? Like, are you trying to like, you know, bite the hand that feeds you? You know, because they're all scared and they're afraid that they might get canceled. But the shitty part is the YouTube thing. Like, I do agree with you. The fact that his channel is monetized still, but not to him.
Yeah.
There's still ads. When you go to his channel, there's still ads. There's still, you know, commercials and stuff like that. But all that goes to YouTube and not to him, because YouTube knows that, oh, he's going to get an influx of followers. He's going to get an influx of people who are going to agree with him and try to support him. So let's capitalize on that and not completely remove advertisement from his channel, which is the fucked up part.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
It's
a total fucking scummy move. Yeah.
Like I'm gonna pull this up really quick. So this is the letter from was it the Parliament to Culture Media, it's a sport committee from London. This is to Rumble, right? Dear Chris, I am writing concerning the serious allegations regarding Russell Brand in the context of his being a content provider on Rumble with more than 1.4 million followers. The Culture Media and Sports Committee is raising questions with the broadcasters and production companies who previously employed Mr. Brand to examine both the culture of the industry in the past and whether that culture still prevails today. However, we are also looking at his use of social media, including on Rumble, where he issued his preemptive response to the accusations made against him by the Sunday Times and Channel 4's dispatches. While we recognize that Rumble is not the creator of the content published by Mr. Brand, we are concerned that he may be able to profit from his content on the platform. We would be grateful if you can confirm whether Mr. Brand is able to monetize his content, including his videos relating to the serious accusations against him. If so, we would like to know whether Rumble intends to join YouTube in suspending Mr. Brand's ability to earn money on the platform. We would also like to know what Rumble is doing to ensure that creators are not able to use the platform to undermine the welfare of victims of inappropriate and potentially illegal behavior. Yeah, this is such a bullshit thing, right? Like not going directly to the person, but going directly to like the company or even sponsors of said company.
Yeah.
Like, hey, yeah, go ahead.
No, you're 100% right. Yeah. Them being like, hey, we know that going after him is just going to make it look worse for us. So we'll just send a letter to his fucking, like, the people behind the scenes to try to get him removed and demonetized. It's such shit. Like, it's awful, and it's an awful like position, and we're seeing like the opposite now, because there's the thing now, they're seeing the opposite of this, like on Rumble basically being like, fuck you, we're not going to demonetize somebody because they haven't done anything wrong yet. Like, but the fact is they're scared that that accusation will make them more influential. Look at what's happened with like Trump. Like, regardless of how you feel about the guy, he's actually probably got more influence now and more relevance than he ever had, because they're trying to prosecute him for all this shit. Like, they know that putting these people now in these positions actually is having a negative effect. So what do? They do this scummy shit where they go behind the scenes and send letters to sponsors and send letters to other people and go, can you demonetize these people? Can you stop supporting them? We're really concerned it's harming people. Who are you harming? What is Russell Brand going to get more followers and go, you know what? I'm going to go rape even more people now. I'm gonna do even more criminal activity because I've gotten more. Like, what are you talking about? Like, come on now, you guys know better. They know better than that. But that's the thing, and that's why watching things like Young Rippa and what he did, like, and he's got similar things. People sending him letters and being like, yo, your guys on social media, I don't like the way you're operating your business, and I don't think that that's really good. And he's like, fuck you. I know who my people are that work for me. I don't need you telling me. And if they do something wrong, guess what? I'll handle it because I'm their boss. That's how we handle things. Not this thing of like putting pressure on sponsors and stuff. And the fact that anybody ever does cave to pressure like that is wrong, because it just creates a slippery slope of where's the line? When do you not cave that time? Or when do you not go, Yeah, it's a really messed up position, man. It really is.
What do you think about this, Gray? Like, with the whole thing happening where this could potentially happen. Like the fact that Russell Brand has such a big pull, like if there was anyone that's a no-name person that they just want to shut you down, they come together. Like I told this to my wife. It's like, remember that one time where they all came together and shut down Parler, right? And they same thing with Johnny Depp thing. Like it was all just accusations. It's not 100% true yet, but everyone dropped sponsors, agents, all of that kind of stuff. Same thing with Jonathan Majors, right? When they heard the allegations or the accusations, for like they all dropped him. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, it's such a dangerous precedent. Like, especially if that person turns out to be innocent. Like even Jonathan Majors, right? It's not even concluded yet, and so many people dropped him already. We still don't know the answer to that, like what's going on behind the scenes. But yeah, it's like I'm glad that at least Rumble stood up. At the very least, Rumble stood up for Russell Brand. X, I believe, though X does also some censorship, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So yeah, I just hope more of these entities do the right things and stand up for people. It's like innocent until proven guilty. It's like it's such a common term, but at the same time, we don't really follow it anymore. Majority of the people don't really follow it anymore. It's like, oh, this person's accused of doing this, doing that. Okay, demonetized automatically, so that we don't loss of public opinion too. It's like, yeah, it's scummy, it's selfish, and yeah, I hope that at some point it kind of bites back at them. I don't know in what way, but these large entities need to learn that. You need to check all the facts first, not speculations or accusations.
Yeah.
See, Gingerbeard with $2 says guilty in the court of the media's opinion.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we see it all the time, man. Like, and like somebody will be like, oh, you know, you have this person working for you that did these horrible things or whatever. Like, I just because somebody accuses somebody of something doesn't make it true. And the times that it's not true, guess what? Like, you actually can lose more than you gain by going, I'm going to get rid of this person or remove this person that's valuable or part of our team or whatever because somebody came out and said something. Like, that's awful. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But it's this attitude of like, everybody wants to be the first one to be right about it. And then when they're wrong, they just kind of back up and act like, oh, sorry, I didn't know. And I'm like, no. Like, that, you know, we saw that with Amber Heard. Like, she was throwing all these accusations out, and Johnny didn't get his fair day in court, you know, over in the UK and stuff. And they're like, see? Like, you know, and then he came back and he's like, all right, you want to run your mouth? Then we'll actually settle this. Like, let's actually deal with it, you know? And we saw what came from that. But I think more and more people see, because there was like a lot of fear. People were like, I'm scared that this is going to set a precedent. And I'm like, I think it should set a precedent that if you're going to run your mouth about somebody and you're going to talk bad about them and try to run them down into the ground for something, that maybe you don't get off scot-free for throwing that stuff around. Maybe, you know, maybe people go, you know, I don't think anybody should be censored, but, you know, it's like, how would those people feel? Those people would be the first one crying if they throw out a bunch of accusations and then sponsors went, oh, they were wrong for all those accusations. Maybe we don't want to deal with those people anymore because how they act if we ever, you know what I'm saying? Like, how would they feel? I don't think that should happen. But the point is the hypocrisy of they'd be the first ones crying foul if it happened to them, but they'll very quickly throw somebody else on the fire as soon as they possibly can. And it's awful. It really is.
Let's see. Alan Foss says, Phil, you need to buy Gray some Starlink.
Oh no, he needs some more Starlink, man. Poor guy.
Yeah, I don't know. But I did notice a while ago when we started, the reason why I was the cable was actually loose on the router. The internet that's connected to the router is actually loose, not the router itself. So I might need to take a look at that again later. Maybe that's the reason why.
Yo, we got $10 from X-Wing saying that Mike guy is hot as fuck.
Oh, thanks, bro. Listen, if we're doing it, we're doing it, you know?
Thanks for checking out this segment of the Project Eggroll podcast. If you like what we do here, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you will know next time when we go live. We do go live every Saturday at 8 p.m. Once again, we are just getting started. Tons of more video to come. Thanks, and we'll see you guys next time.